Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome to my channel if you're new, and if you're not, come va? My name is Foco Films, and today we're going to talk about being broke in London because, let's be honest, that is the truth about living in this city. I mean, it is true. The reality of living in London is that for a lot of the time, if you're just getting started out in your career, you will be broke. Big cities do tend to be like this. You can look at London like you can look at New York, you can look at Hong Kong, you can look at Singapore, Tokyo, wherever you want to settle down. A big city is competitive, and usually the amount of money that you make is barely enough to cover the rent. So in this video, I'm going to kind of run down the real cost of living in London, what the average salary is, what the average rent is, and some money saving tips for you to take into account. But also towards the end, I will give you a bonus tip that you probably haven't thought about yet. So make sure you stay tuned until the very end of this video to hear about that. Now, when you're looking at the average salary in London, yes, it is higher than the average salary in a lot of Europe. You're looking at about 2.8k in pounds per month, and that is before tax, which is about 2,200 pounds to take home after tax. That is net income. Proportionally though, if you look at average rent, it is ridiculously high at 1.7k per month. 1,700 pounds a month of the 2,200 that you're making will go to rent. So given these numbers, in order to actually make it in London, you need to be able to apply the 50-30-20 rule. And that is 50% of your salary needs to go into your needs, your rent, your essentials. 30% of your salary you keep to yourself to do things that make you happy. 20% of your salary you put into savings because you need to think about the future as well. Let's take that 2.2k as your average standard salary. That's what you're making when you get to London. 50% of it you need to put in your necessities, rent and others. That's 1.1k. 660 of it per month you can keep to yourself, to have fun, to enjoy yourself, to do those activities that aren't essential, but they make you happy. And 440 of those pounds you would put into savings. Save up for a rainy day, save up for when you might end up needing it down the line. Everybody at every age should be saving. I have a video talking about finance and how I manage my savings and invest as well here in London, so do take a look at that if you're interested. Now looking at this chart, 1,100 for essentials, 660 for free time, and 440 for savings is barely scraping the surface. And that is on your average London salary. Not a low salary, not a high salary by any means, but your average London salary. So you really need to consider that if you're coming here and going to be working on minimum wage, there will be big sacrifices for you to make. You may be living without savings, and you may have to sacrifice your social life as well. The bottom line is, London is for rich people or those willing to make some sacrifices. It's not a place where you can just sit back and get by and enjoy yourself. But given the opportunities that this city offers, it's worth it. And as you move here, start to work here, and continue to live here and experience the city, you will learn where you can actually save a bit of cash. So some money saving tips for you, as you've probably gathered from the start of this video, make sure that you keep track of your spendings. Money will inevitably tight at some points, especially when you're just getting started here. So it's crucial that you have an Excel file or something that you can keep track of your spendings on to make sure you know what your income is, to make sure you know what your fixed costs are, and to make sure you know how much you want to save that month. Keeping track of your spendings will also help you to anticipate any future costs. So for example, if you know you're due to buy a new phone, if you know you're going to be moving houses soon, these are all costs that could add up. So if you keep track of your spendings, you know how much you've got aside, you know how much your fixed costs are, you will be able to save money in the lead up to these events so you don't get caught short. Another thing you need to live by is to hunt for better deals all the time. Remember that like New York and other big cities, London revolves around the idea of capitalism, and there will always be better deals out there if you go looking for them. This can be as simple as choosing where to go get your groceries. You can choose cheaper grocery stores like Aldi, Lidl, or if that's something that you particularly care about, you can go to the more expensive ones like Waitrose. The same goes for utility providers, your bills, rent reductions. If you see that the market in your area has gone down, which is rare for London, but for example in the past couple months this has happened, reach out to your landlord and ask for a rent reduction. Health insurance, home insurance, all of these every single year when the contract ends, make sure you keep an eye out. Another thing you should definitely be looking into is getting a side hustle. London is a city of opportunities, and no matter what your hobbies are, you should be able to find a way to monetize them. Whether you like playing tennis, you speak another language, you're digitally savvy, you could give tennis lessons, you could teach another language, you could make YouTube videos, I don't know, but come up with a side hustle so that you have a secondary income and just top you off every single month. I would also advise not to spend money unnecessarily, and I feel like that's a given, but you are so drawn to do so in London. Every street you walk down, there will be somewhere trying to sell you something. And even online ads are a lot more effective on London. You're scrolling through Instagram, you're scrolling through Facebook, wherever, you will find that online ads are targeted to you, but in London, it's easier to get the things because there might be shops nearby. People might do free delivery in London instead of other... Holy shit. That was really loud. So yeah, don't be tempted to spend unnecessary amounts of money. One of the things that I started doing that saved me so much in the long run is bringing my own food to work and also my own coffee. I used to spend about £2 per day on coffee, and that adds up. That adds up very, very quickly. I'd also advise to avoid debt of any kind. Overdrafts are the devil. Stay away from overdrafts. Credit cards, if you're not good at managing your money, you will need to watch out for these. Short-term loans, just stay away from completely, and anything that has interest rate added to it. Honestly, short-term loans are probably the biggest culprit to this, but also finance options with interest. If you can't afford something, you can't afford it. That's it. Don't buy it. Paying on a monthly basis will get you caught up in paying something month by month with added interest on top of it. So it'll work out being more expensive. You're better off saving up for it yourself until you can buy the whole thing all at once. Now, at the beginning of the video, I told you I was going to give you an alternative that you may have not thought of, and it's probably not what you're expecting, but I think that it's something definitely that's worth considering. If you love the idea of living in the UK, moving in the UK, being in London, then if London is not for you, don't give up on that whole idea. The first English person you'll ever meet and every other one from there on will tell you that London is not the UK. London is a bubble, London is its own thing, and until you experience what's outside of London and in the rest of the UK, you will have no idea what the UK is actually really like. So one of the suggestions I can give you is that if you're scared to take the plunge, if you think London is going to be too difficult, or if you're already here and are struggling with it, move away. Go up north. Try Liverpool, Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds. There are so many amazing cities in England that will give you a lot more opportunities and will give you an easier time managing your finances. Alternatively, try Scotland, try moving to Wales, try Northern Ireland. There's so much that this country has to offer, and it's not all just ingrained into London. Sure, London is a big city and it has a lot to offer, and it's almost like a city of dreams for a lot of people. And if you are rich or if you're willing to make sacrifices, you will get there and you will be able to actually live it as you picture yourself living it. But perhaps it's not the best place for you to start. So if you don't have a plan in place, if you're not willing to make these massive sacrifices and live with rats in the first few years of being here, which I know is a big ask, then definitely consider other places in the UK. Personally, I'm a massive fan of London. I love living here, and I'm happy sacrificing one or two things here and there to look out my window and wake up to London. I've met so many interesting people here. I'm happy every day. I found a balance that I'm content with, and I have a career that will enable me to work my way up into it, earn more money, get promotions, and move on with my life, making more money year after year. So I know that the sacrifices that I make today are going to be worth it for me in the future. But not everyone can say that, and sometimes to be able to get to that point, you need to start somewhere else, somewhere smaller. Just don't give up on a place that you love because it catches you off guard. I hope this video helps you out. I hope that you understand that London is a city of opportunity, but like every opportunity, there are some sacrifices to make in order to obtain them. So I would never tell you don't do it. I would tell you, come prepared, weigh out your options, and make sure that you're making the best choices for you and your life situation. If you enjoyed this video and you think it helped you out, leave me a like, leave me a comment down below telling me about your experiences in London or your experiences elsewhere in the UK, because people will want to hear about those. Follow me on social media if you don't do so already, Instagram and Twitter. Check out my merch down below in the description, and if you want to support me, head to my Buy Me a Coffee link down below. As you heard, I bring my own coffee from home to work every day, and I would love to be able to afford the £2 coffee. Subscribe, hit that notification bell icon to be notified every single time I post a new video, which is every Sunday. My name is Foco Films. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Ciao.